This is Lulu and our week 1 recap. Come here, babes. Oh my gosh, what do you have? What do you got? Starting off training this week, we're gonna start with a little play. Right now I'm using what's called a flirt pole. Hey baby, what's this? Yeah, good girl. I know your other toys are up there. Good girl. Nice. So the flirt pole is super nice for these young puppies. My hands are up here, and then the toy is down on the ground with her. So this does allow for me to be a little bit hands off. Very common for puppies to be mouthy at this stage. So this is really nice to kind of keep your hands out of the equation, teaching her to play with the toy instead of us. Good girl. So once she has that toy in her mouth, I'm just gently pulling in the opposite direction. At this stage, she really can't tug on the toy too hard. So I'm really not pulling too hard for her. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. But still a little so she gets that feedback. Good job. Good girl. And as soon as she lets go, we will get started. Oh, good girl, baby. Almost. Almost. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So the first thing that we had to introduce to the puppies this week is what's called our reward marker. So for that, I am using a clicker. And I needed to teach her what that click meant. So the first thing we're gonna do is charge our clicker. To do that, I'm simply gonna click and then hand her a piece of food. Girl. Good job. Good job. And then the purpose of the clicker is gonna be to capture the moment that the puppies offer us the behavior that we asked for. So I like to use sit as an example. She's in a very nice sit right now. The picture is that her butt is on the ground. Her 2 paws, front paws, are also on the ground. So that is the picture that I want to capture. That is what I click. And then the click is a promise. So I'm promising you, you're gonna get a piece of food. Good girl. When we first introduce the clicker, I like to practice feeding her from both my hand and on the ground, because that's the way that she might get food in the future. So I want her to learn that it can come from either source. Good girl. After we've charged that clicker a few times, okay. The next thing that I want to do is charge what's going to be called our release word. For her, I've picked the word okay. This word is what's gonna signal to her, you did it, you're done. You get to go get a break. Okay. This week, we keep it very simple for the puppies. I'm not tossing that cookie too far. I'm showing her that I have that snack. Okay. And then just tossing that food off to the side as I say the word. With this, you don't have to use your clicker, so don't click and then say your word. Just say your word and toss the food in one direction or the other. Okay, good girl. All right, after that, we worked on teaching her how to follow a food lure. Food lure is gonna be super important for all training, really just teaching her how to stay connected with the food and following your hand signals. So the way that I do that is I'm gonna have that food in my hand, my thumb is gonna cover the food, and then once she's licking it and attached, I'm just gonna move my hand a little. Very nice. Good girl, Lulu. I can do that with my other hand as well. Good girl. That way she's used to following a food lure from either hand. Okay. And then I'll also, just to do like a little name game exercise, pair that food lure with her name. few behaviors, we are going to take a break, do a little bit more toy play. These puppies are still so young. We don't want to just have strict training for 20 minutes. We want to make sure that we keep training fun. So we are going to get the toy out in between a few reps and then do a little play. Good girl. Yeah, do you like the flirt pole? Good. So especially with the flirt pole, you are going to kind of dance around the toy a little bit for her. So I kind of just skirted it around this little circle, and then I want her to win, so I'm not going to make it super difficult. Good girl. And as soon as she gets it, then I'll give those little tugs for feedback. Good girl. Yeah, oh, okay. And then after a few seconds, if she lets go of the toy, that's my win. And then we'll continue on with training. Good girl, love. Next thing that we're gonna work on is gonna be her sit. So sit for this week, we're really just working on getting the behavior. As we continue to work on this one, we will focus on the duration. So how long she can stay in this position. Sit. Good girl. And then it's really important to kind of capture the right moment, which can be a little hard for these little puppies. For her, she's so excited about the food, so sometimes those paws come up. Even if you accidentally click as the paw is up, just try not to give her the food until you get that picture you want. So you don't have to re-click, but just wait for the paws to be on the ground before you feed her. Sit, you already did it. Good girl. And the way that I'm getting this position, I'm starting with my food at nose level, and I'm coming up and back to get her into her nice little sit. Sit. Good girl, baby. Yeah, you did very good with that. Let me get 2 pieces. Okay. Lulu. Pop, 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 pop. What'd you find over there? Good girl. Ooh, I gotta break it in half and it's hard. Okay, babes. Sit. Nice. Good job. That was a bigger piece, so she's gonna take a second to chew that. Oh, you have to go lay over there and eat it? I'll break up some more while you're chewing. Okay, the next thing that I wanna work on with her is gonna be her hand targets. So the hand target I really like to use as like a informal recall. So if I wanna call her from across the room to come into me, I might use that hand target to get the behavior. I also really like it as like a focus and engagement exercise. So if I go anywhere new with my dog, I am gonna ask them to give me a few hand targets before we continue with what we're doing. So the way that we're gonna get this behavior, I wanna hold the food the same way I did for that food lure. So I connect her to the food, and then this time I'm gonna take my hand away. Touch. Nice. I'm not going too far, my body isn't moving just yet. Just really taking that hand away so she follows my hand. Make sure that we practice this with both hands. Touch. Very good girl. It is a movement exercise, so at some point I will get a little bit more distance, expect her to come from across the space to offer this hand target. Touch. Nice. And the moment I'm clicking is as soon as I feel that nose connect with my palm. Touch. Wow, good girl. Aren't you so smart? Get it. Lulu. Good. So practicing some name games, we could play what's called the flying cookie game. I'm gonna toss a get it cookie. She's gonna go chase after that food. As soon as she's done eating, that is when I want to call her name. And then as soon as she turns towards me, that's when I'm clicking and feeding. You saw it a little bit ago in the video. I called her name. She didn't respond right away because there were some crumbs over there. I'm not gonna call her name again, so I'm not gonna chant over and over. Get it? Lulu! Good. Instead I might make like a kissy noise, clap my hands, puppy puppy, something else to get my dog's attention. And still, as soon as they turn towards me, that's when I want to click and feed them. And I am being strategic with my food. I'm kind of placing it down here to encourage her to come into me. Get it? That was far, huh? Oh, good job. Lulu! Nice. Very good girl. Okay, and we'll take another break from our training. Oh my gosh, you got your toy. You got it. Good girl. Yeah, good job. Good job. The flirt bowl I do highly recommend, especially if you are a family that has kids. It's a great way for the kids to play with the puppy without, again, their hands being involved, potentially getting super excited when the puppies get into their laps or try to chew on them. Like this is a fun way for the kids to really play with the puppies in an appropriate way. Good girl. Oh my goodness, you got it. You got it. You're chewing the wrong part. Thank you. All right, and then the next thing we're gonna work on is gonna be our stationary behavior. So this is gonna be our mat or our place work. With this week we're working on step 1. So step 1, I'm just introducing the mat itself. I really wanna build Lulu's drive and desire to come into this place. So this week we're just gonna build that. Where'd you go? You're behind me. So step 1, I'm gonna put my mat down and kind of encourage her to come over. As soon as she's 4 paws on, that's what I'll click and feed. Good girl. You don't necessarily have to name this anything just yet. Good girl. And I'm just coming in with more cookies. Oh yeah, good job. Okay. I call those my follow-up cookies. We'll work on those when we do more with duration with her sits and her downs. But my follow-up cookies, you do not have to click those. That's just a lot of clicking for one behavior. You click and feed the initial behavior, which for this step is 4 paws on. And then I come in with my follow-up cookies to build that duration of staying on this mat and teaching her. She doesn't leave it until I say that release word. I released her from the mat with my okay. I then picked up the mat and I'm gonna move it to a new spot. I know, you're so excited. Good girl. Right here, that's a big one too. The follow-up cookies you don't wanna come in too quick with, but I also don't wanna be too slow where she might try to wander off the mat herself. Okay, good girl. Places and reasons we might use our mat. I personally like to use this one a lot when I'm in my kitchen. So if I'm cooking and need to get into the hot oven, I might have my dog stationed on their mat so I can safely open the oven and they're not getting in there curious, potentially gonna hurt themselves. I also really like it when I'm loading the dishwasher. My dogs love to help clean the dishes. So I put them on their mats to not get into the dishwasher. It's also great if you plan on having company over. Of course, this one's a hard one because dogs are so excited to see new people. So that one kind of comes with a lot of practice, but teaching your dog to station on the mat and stay on the mat as company comes in, they get settled, and then we can release our dog from the mat. Okay, what this? Okay. Good girl. So one of the last things that I want to work on with Lulu today is going to be her cooperative care and handling exercises. So we like to work with these puppies at a super young age, getting them used to different types of body handling. Now for her, and every dog, they are going to go to the vet for the rest of their lives. So we want to set them up for success now. Yes, good girl. Getting them used to being restrained. So for that right now, I'm just doing a gentle hand under the belly. Yes, good girl. The entire time that I'm doing my cooperative care body handling, she is attached to food in my hand. That way she can focus on that as I do my touching. Yes. Notice how I'm also not using my clicker for this. You can use the clicker, but I find that my verbal reward marker is a little bit easier for these young puppies at this stage. I don't want to click right in her ear, and I also, for some of my body handling, need all of my hands, so it is difficult to sometimes manage the clicker and the food and the handling. So I just do what I'm doing. Yes, good. Mark it with that, yes. So far we've done restraint under the belly. I was lifting her tail. That one is more for practicing future vet visits where she needs her temperature taken, future grooming appointments where they're gonna clean up back there. Yes, good. Practicing handling her ears. So gentle pets on the head, flip an ear back. Yes, good girl. Looking at her mouth. Yes, good job. So it's the same thing. I'm gonna do gentle pets on the head and then kind of work my way to her mouth. Yes, good girl. And for that this week, it's a very quick lift of the lip. I'm not really getting too deep in there. I'm not getting a great look, but just getting her used to that hand coming up to her face and touching her muzzle. Good girl. Okay. I like to give a good amount of breaks with my cooperative care body handling. I want the dog to know that they can step away. You do have choice here in the matter. So I like to give them those breaks in between the body handling to kind of take down that pressure. Next thing I'll work on is handling her toes. So I'm going to start up at the neck, shoulders, and glide down. Yes, good girl. Same thing for the back legs. Yes. I start at the shoulders and I glide down the body to get where I want to handle. That hand is so slimy now. Yes. Good girl. Yes. Good job. And with my body handling this week, I'm not adding duration. This is pretty quick. If I get to the body part that I want to handle, I mark and I feed. Moving forward, we will continue to build duration. Trimming nails is not quick. So we do need her to be comfortable with hands on the paws for an extended period. So we will focus on building that duration. Good girl. And then the final piece of what we'll work on today is going to be getting her dressed in her harness. For the harness, up. Once she's in her gear, I'm just going to play with the flirt pole, potentially do some food lures to really just build her confidence and movement in the harness. Good girl. So putting her gear on, I lifted her up. I did that all in my arms. Once I was clipped in, I set her down, and she did great with that. Let's get her flirt pole back out. What this? Yeah. And as you can see, she's already moving around, really not caring too much that she has this gear on. Sometimes you see these new puppies that come home, they get in their harness or their collar for the first time, and they just kind of freeze up. This is why we like to do this at this stage. So really just get her comfortable having the stuff on and having that confidence to move while being dressed in something. Good girl, Lovey. Yeah. Are you getting tired? Nice. Oh, you let go already. Good. Yeah, good girl. Okay, thank you. And then to get that harness off, I might present her a piece of food. Hey, like this. And then as she's focused on that, I'll unclip and toss that food for her. And that's it for Lulu's week 1 recap.